Ghetts. I'm in the building. You sure you know the voice. Hello, how you doing?
What's going on, man? Top of 2012. You know what I mean? It's looking nice for you, man. Momentum CD just being released. Hosted by DJ Whoo Kid.
Yeah.
Explain the mind state that Ghetts is in at the moment, man.
Yeah, man. Just work, like double the workload. Last year, I was doing a lot of planning and working on projects, finishing off the projects. So me and Rapid, we made an album called Paint the Town Red, which should be hitting you in March sometime. That's finished as well. Rebel with the Cause has been finished as well. And then I thought, you know what, let me end the year how I'm gonna start the next year. So I ended it with Momentum. I banged that out in like 3 weeks quickly, and yeah, ended the year like that. And now we're just ready to go with the singles from Paint the Town Red.
So for those that don't know, man, I'm sure so many people know that the history that you've got in this UK thing, the grime scene, messing with a bit of the hip hop and stuff. It's a lot, man.
Yeah,
like, it is a real lot of stuff that you've
it's
done.
a movie.
How would you summarize it, man?
I summarize it like it's like a movie. The ups and downs, the downs and ups. It gives man some substance to talk about instead of spitting about spitting. You understand what I'm saying? Or it's just like, it just gives me a variety to talk about in my music. So yeah, definitely great stuff, man.
Ghetts, formerly known as Ghetto, man, when you recorded Top 3 Selected, man. When you look back at those times, 2007, how do you see how it's changed so much, man? 2012 right now.
It's more album work and single work, and you know what I'm saying. We've learned a lot more since then, how to do things independently, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's changed a lot, but I personally think it's changed for the better. 2007 was a lot of radio sets and whatnot, and DVD work and things like that. I think that 2012 we've got our websites, got our grime dailies, SBTVs. You know what I'm saying? That's another outlet for people that are doing music, which is a very good outlet. To promote the albums through and whatnot, to promote the mixtapes, and I personally prefer listening to a good album than a set. So in terms of the change, I think that most of my artists that are listening to are doing more albums and mixtapes than sets. So I'm happy with the change. I ain't got no complaints, man.
Talking about changes, man, you've come through a lot of the different eras, you know, from the pirate radio to the mixtapes to the albums and all that kind of stuff. Then at the same time, you've had a major deal as well, single sign. Like you've had the independent hustle, you've had big management. You know what I mean? You're looking after yourself at the moment. How is it at the moment, man, being the guy that handles 360, man? I know you're very active on the Twitter.
It's sick, but I'm kind of, there was a word for it. My friend Ralph found a word for it the other day, but I can't even remember it. It's like, I'm very hands-on with my own career. If I can't let my career in the hands of someone else. So I prefer to be like this. It's tiring, don't get me wrong, like it's tiring, man. It is actually tiring, but I prefer to be like this still.
And you know, it's funny, man, because in the early days, a lot of people used to talk about you as the angry MC, the MC that wasn't really an artist. Then you know, you released Ghetto Gospel 2007. That whole thing was shut down. But then after that, freedom of speech come out, and then we've seen the angry side of Ghetts come out again. And then one track I went to address, Red Pill, on the Momentum CD. It's like you got a bar where it says, "I'm trying to walk on the righteous path." Anyone that knows me well knows I don't want to write violent bars. What are you trying to say with that bar?
That bar's just explaining, like, I see a lot of comments. I realize that a lot of people like to listen to violence, innit? And it's easy to write violence, and that's taken in when you're in the underground. That's taken in. It's received very well by the people that listen to it, innit? But in this day and age right now, I'd rather not write about that and be received in the same manner. So Red Pill is called Red Pill for a reason. It's just about being like open-minded to what I'm really saying here, innit? So I use the same gas tone of voice, but with a message underneath it, innit? And it's just me saying, like, yo, like, you might not get our artillery. It don't mean that I've fallen off. It just means that my mindset somewhere else I'm thinking differently, innit? You understand what I'm saying? An 11-year-old came up to me maybe a year back in the back streets of Plaistow, said to me, like, "Ghetts, you're my role model." And at that time it dawned on me. Like, I said to him, "How old are you, little man?" He said 11. And it dawned to me that at 11 you can't differentiate between the artist and what is actually being said. So to him, artillery's artillery, innit? And that's what man do every day. Not knowing that in the morning I've got an interview, by 12 I'm going to studio, and he's just thinking that it. So I'm his role model for the wrong reason. And in terms of what he said to me, kind of changed my outlook on things. I never realized I had that power over people. So now, acknowledging that I've got that power over people, I'd be like an absolute fool to carry on in that same manner. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even though I have got the green light to say certain things, because I've been through certain stuff, done certain things, still, it makes me a better man not to say it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So you're feeling very responsible these days for what you're saying. I'm not saying you weren't feeling responsible before.
No, I weren't. I weren't. You can say that, because I wasn't. I just thought, you know what, it is what it is. This is how I'm living. So 2000 and life, that is exactly how I was living. Artillery and like things like Train to Kill maybe got made because you know there's a target audience for that like you when you do that. So then that becomes not authentic, because that's not what's happening today, Ghetts. So if the listeners today can't appreciate what's going on in my life today, then it's cool. You don't have to listen. Just switch off. You understand what I'm saying? But there are a massive amount of people that do appreciate me not talking about that stuff all the time. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to make another track like that, but I do bear it in mind. You know what I'm saying? So maybe a track like that, but not a video to visualize it even more, that sort of thing. So I just bear them things in mind, man.
Definitely a more mature side of Ghetts, you know what I mean? And another bar that stuck out, another line that stuck out in the Red Pill track featuring Merckson is, I'm not one of these new wave dons, I don't want to be the hardest out. Nowadays I'm influenced by Lupe songs.
Yeah.
So it's like, break down what you really like.
It's like,
you know,
a lot
the new
of
Wave MCs.
It's like nowadays, I kind of feel sorry for them, because in my era, Dizzy made I Love You, and although we was running around and doing mad stuff, when we heard that tune, we was like, that's a tune, that's cold. And they weren't talking about any violence. Kane made Boys Love Girls, and we was like, that's cold. And we was bad youths running around doing mad stuff, but heard them tunes and appreciated it. Now it's like some of these tunes that got made back then, if you made them now, they're like, oh, that's moist. That's moist. In terms of, so these new wave dons coming up are seeing their target audience saying that. So it's causing them to make more violence, you understand? Like, and no one ain't going to really say this. I'm not the only one that's going to really say that. But it's causing them to make more violence and trying to be harder. Because their target audience is saying that's moist. It's not even their fault. But I'm just at a stage where I'm comfortable with me as an artist, so I can shut that down and say, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Do you know what's moist? You lot not having links and not being able to relate to this. That's moist, you get me?
Influx in, you know, downloadable CDs. Everyone's giving away free music. And it's like, sometimes, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. But often the line drawn between what's free and what retails, the lines are blurred, man. Sometimes the retailers, the consumers, the fans, they can't tell the difference. Yeah. Like, what's the difference between the Momentum CD and Paint the Town Red from Ghetts, which is the forthcoming retail?
Like, in terms of more, it's more of me. Like, on Paint the Town Red, even though it's mine and Rapid's album, let me get that clear, but it's more of me as a person, where I come from, where I'm trying to head to, a bit of my childhood. You understand what I'm saying? There's much more substance on that. Not that there ain't no substance on Momentum, of course there is, but there's much more substance on Paint the Town Red, in terms of, like, sometimes on the free downloads, we don't really care for a mix that much. Mixes cost money, so we voice that. We like, yeah, touch that up a bit, man. It's free, man. Let that go, and then we let it go. In terms of your album that's going into retail, you get the proper mix. You send over the parts, mix down, make sure everything's the vocal quality, everything's leveled out, things like that. So quality, you understand what I'm saying? It's quality that they're paying for.
So you got the Momentum CD out at the moment, the mixtape with DJ Whoo Kid. Obviously, to those that don't know, Whoo Kid, 50 Cent's official DJ. He's an American DJ, and he's well known out there. He's doing this thing out there. Like, a lot of people know who Whoo Kid is. How did the collaboration come about, man? And was you pessimistic about doing that with an American DJ?
No. I jumped at the chance, to be honest. I don't know first of all, I didn't know what DJ Whoo Kid looks like. So I'm in the studio. Giggs was meant to be coming to do something for Paint the Town Red. he didn't like the actual beat that we was gonna do. Like, he's picky like me still. So then we was going through the computer. We found a beat that we was both just vibing on. It was both of us, like, you know what I'm saying? So vibing. Then he went somewhere. Then he brought back this American lamp. I didn't know what was going on, you feel what I'm saying? Then he's like, right, that's Whoo Kid, you get me? And then Whoo Kid asked me if I'm making a mixtape. I was like, nah, but I will now. Like, I wasn't even gonna do Momentum, you get me? I was like, nah, I will now though. Yeah, let's get busy. And then that was like November 16th, if I remember correctly, and I started that day on the mixtape. So the first one was No Comment, featuring Ghetts, and then I just started banging out the music, and I told him I'll get it to him by the 19th of December. I beat my deadline by 1 day, so yeah, everything was all good.
Did you feel like he knew a lot about you before?
Like, he done his research, because obviously it doesn't make sense for him to do anything that's not really, you know what I'm saying? So after Giggs put in the word, he went and done his research, and then yeah, we good to go. We good to go. The numbers, innit? It's like I say, the numbers are good. We good to go.
There's some naysayers though, man. They'll be like, yo, all of these MCs are doing these mixtapes with an American DJ, and so far you've had like Tiny Tempo, Wiley's done one as well, Giggs has done one, yourself's done one, Skepta's has done one. It's like, people are gonna say, how comes they're doing all this stuff with an American DJ and not
cool,
a UK
man.
DJ?
Yeah, we can do one with the UK DJs. It's cool, solid, man. No problem, man. You get me?